And so please describe to me what the aesthetic look is exactly.
Well, like this guy here.
Yeah. So we'll go ahead and bring
Oh wow, you really have to come in here?
like this guy.
Is this
No,
is this really happening? He met the other guy behind you, bro. Like I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm right into that bad boy.
You can stay right there, behind the camera, behind the camera. No, see now you got me jealous now.
That's okay.
That's not
no,
fair.
but you're more in the category like Lou Ferrigno, Arnold, okay?
My man. Yeah. Arnold Ferrigno. Huh?
Okay.
Aesthetic. That's great, partner. You two ever go out place everything in its proper place?
That does not make sense, but we usually do go. We head to Kroger's, and we work.
Oh, yeah. I've got a lady waiting for me back home also. She has the most beautiful scrotum. Oh, God. And when she sings, she sounds just like a puppy dog. How do you nail a photo?
Just gotta get in the mode. You gotta talk with your eyes.
Talk with your eyes.
Talk with your eyes. You
Okay,
gotta
so
have the eyes.
can you show me a little bit of something, like to this camera? I would love to know how to do this. I just want to know.
Well,
How do you do it?
you
Teach
can
me
smile,
something.
You can get the sexy eyes. Then you gotta get the smile going on some shoes, but
Wait, hold up. I gotta
when it's
try
time,
this.
when it's time to laugh,
I gotta try this
you gotta
with
think
you.
of something funny and start laughing.
Do it again. Do it again. How do you do it? Teach me.
Sexy eyes.
The sexy eye.
This is sexy eyes right here.
Smizing?
Smile.
So you're smizing.
Smile.
Okay.
And then you gotta get the.
No, I look like I need to take a poop or something.
Wish words were like little toy guns. No sting, no hurt, no one, just a bang, bang. Right?
Is that it?
Yeah, it's something like that. Just a bang,
Toy
bang,
guns.
rolling off your tongue.
Toy guns.
It's no smoke, no
Bang, bang.
bullets.
Water guns. All right.
Pascal. You are now rocking with that dude Pascal. We be going wild, Haitian in the building, so original. Got the haters catching feelings. Get your hands up to the ceiling and keep them held high. Cause St. Louis isn't ready. Forget about it, goodbye. Hold up, we just saying hi. Five somebody, rise up. Weekdays, catch us live. Somebody, let's go.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Pascal Show. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. I hope you guys all are having a great, wonderful Thursday. Hopefully it's not thirsty, and if you are thirsty, you better quench that thirst. You know what I'm saying? Get it quenched before the weekend. It'll be a very slow and very lonely weekend if you don't quench that thirst in a good and consensual way. Let me just say that. I hope you guys are all doing well. I'm sorry for the late start. We were having a little bit of technical difficulties. I had to restart the computes and all that computer stuff and everything. Jordan 190 is talking about Lil Tay. I don't know what's going on with Lil Tay, to be really honest. So thank you so much for letting me know. I will look that up during the course of the show to see what the hell is going on. But before we jump into all of that, please don't forget to hit that like button, send some positive energy, some positive love into the show. Feed the energy. Feed this show with good energy. That's what I was trying to say. Feed this show with some good ass energy and send those likes all the way turned up, okay? But anyway, good evening, good morning to everybody. I hope you guys are all doing well, having a fantastic time. It is Thursday, and I'm so happy about it. I'm not gonna lie, I'm very excited about it. Why? Because tomorrow starts the weekend. Yes, and I know a lot of us have had a very long week. It has been a very tough one, but we're trying to send this week off on a positive note. Hopefully for tomorrow, we got a cool things I find dope, some really big breaking news that just came out, which we will be talking about here very, very soon. I am very excited about it because it brings it shines a little glimmer of hope of what could happen for the rest of the country due to the panty that we're dealing with and all that. So I'm very excited about that. Of course, we got to talk about all the things that are going on underneath the feed right now as we speak. Also, on top of that, we got some really interesting, actually, I think it's good news. And it has to do with Ahmaud Arbery and the case of his surrounding his death and the three vicious, terrible human beings, human waste that were arrested, that were the murderers that took this young man's life. So we got some really great news about that. And then unfortunately, we do have another body cam footage video that we have to take a look at. And I don't want to watch it, but we got to look at it so that we can all see what actually went down. And it's a tragic, tragic situation. Another tale of somebody having their knee on somebody's back and that person not getting back up again. So we got to talk about that as well. So there's quite a bit going on today. And we got very little time to do it because we started late. Like I said, I apologize. Lo siento. Okay. Lo siento, por favor. I am so sorry. The internet is interesting, and computers like to just randomly update themselves at the last minute, right when you're about to get ready to go. You know what I'm saying? Right when you're about to get the stuff moving, that's when they want to flip the switch on you and go, it's time to update everything. Huh? So that's what's going on today. So anyway, like I said, send those likes all the way up. Of course, we got to start off the show on a not so great note. There was a huge standoff in North Carolina. Huge standoff in North Carolina. We got my brother David in the house. How you doing, my brother?
Man, I'm good. Hi to everyone in chat.
Hello to everybody.
It's pretty good.
But go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead.
I was gonna say it's a pretty good day, but this isn't a good article to start off with. Like
right.
you said, it's kind of a sad one.
It's kind of sad, but we're gonna start with this one, and we're gonna hopefully keep going. Keep moving up. We got a few. It's gonna be a little bit of a roller coaster ride today. I'm sorry. It sucks because you excuse me. You scour the earth. Excuse me. You scour the earth trying to find those positive stories, and it's very rare to find those positive stories. You gotta, it's like trying to find a needle in the haystack. But don't worry, we will be leaving off with a little chuckle and a little smile as well. I got something up my sleeve, you know what I'm saying? All right. Anyway, we got to talk about this standoff that happened in North Carolina. David's got the story, man. What's going on, bruh?
All right, so this initially happened. The beginning of the standoff happened yesterday at about 9:44 a.m. Eastern time. It looks like. So several authorities, the local sheriff's department, was called. This is in Watauga County, which is near Boone in North Carolina. So, like I said, about 9:44 a.m. The sheriff's office got a call for a welfare check along the Hardeman Circle in Boone, in Boone itself, because a homeowner and his family did not attend work recently or respond to telephone calls. So the deputies proceeded to his house. They found that all vehicles that they were told about were at the location. And upon entering the home, they received gunfire from an unknown individual within the residence. 2 deputies were struck by gunfire. One officer, Sergeant Chris Ward, died after being flown to Johnson City Medical Center for treatment. K-9 Deputy Logan Fox remained on the scene. This at the time of the shooting, his condition was unknown, but he's recovering now, so that's good. There's a small video from one of his family in there, but we do have first a little bit more additional information that came out today.
Right.
Is that people that were living in the area did not know that this was going to happen. Basically, it's one of those areas that's generally quiet, but they also didn't know that there was any situation at the house. Like I said, this was just a welfare check because no one had shown up, so it's still a bit of a mystery exactly what happened there. However, whoever was shooting at them was the one that initially shot Logan Fox, the one that survived, and so that's when the standoff started. It lasted for several hours. They backed off after the initial shooting. They blocked off the entire area, including Chapel Hills Road. And it sounds like there were people just walking downtown in the area. One of those people reported, I heard about it at work. A coworker came in and told me there has been a shootout. And it seems like there was a little bit of chaos in the area because people weren't sure what was going on at the time. But a lot of people in the area were reporting that they actually heard the gunshots. And so the representative Ray Pickett, who's from the North Carolina General Assembly, said that I received some terrible news from Watauga County today. At first we thought it was a teenager, but now we know it was an older gentleman. He killed his mother and his father today. Deputies responded to a welfare check. He ambushed them. And so that's the most we got right now.
Okay. Let's see what the I guess there was a bystander or somebody watching or family member says here. Let's take a look. Let's take a look at this. It's a short clip. Let's take a look.
This probably feels even more frightening for you.
It is. It is very frightening. It's frightening for everyone. Every one of us. No color. Nothing. No age. We've got to heal. We have got to heal.
Have you talked to? So this probably.
You know, it's really sad, y'all. Hold on one second. I got it.
That is the cousin of the one who died, the officer who died. The suspect was also killed. I don't think I mentioned that.
Yeah, I was gonna say, did he die or not? But it looks like they say suspect is dead. But I was gonna play this little clip here.
Watauga County, the end of the deadly day-long standoff.
One deputy is dead, and we're working to find out what the condition of the other one is, who was trapped inside a home. Fox 46's Destiny McKeever is live in Boone with what we've learned overnight. Good morning, Destiny.
Good morning, and Wyatt and Jason. So we are still working this scene right now, still very active behind us. We're trying to find out the latest from police, but what we are hearing is that this standoff has been cleared. We're, though, working to learn the condition of the second deputy and suspect. So far, we know Watauga County deputies were called to Hardeman Circle, where we are located right now, to do a welfare check on a couple who had not showed up for work. The couple was found dead when deputies got to the home, and the suspect fired shots, killing Sergeant Chris Ward. The second deputy, K9 Deputy Logan Fox, was inside of the home at last checked, and no word on whether or not he is still inside right now. We spoke with Representative Ray Pickett late last night.
We wonder what we can do about it. How can we prevent this from happening again? And I wish I had the answer. I really do.
Still a very active scene here along Hardeman Circle. We're working to find out the latest, but initially hundreds of officers in Army gear showed up here to the scene to help with this standoff situation. There will be a news briefing at some point. We're hearing 10 a.m., so we will try to cover that right here live on Fox 46 and bring you the latest information. Reporting live from Hardeman Circle, I'm Destiny McKeever, Fox 46.
You know, this story is very sad. Obviously, once again, we're dealing with we're going to deal with a lot more of this. I mean, we see it now clear as day that we're going to deal with people that are feeling that are not mentally stable, that are not mentally good. That there's going to be more standoffs. There's going to be more of this unless we get things under control. You also got to remember, we've had a full year of people having to deal with whatever atrocities or moments where they have had to lose, if that makes any sense. It's a nonstop. It's a nonstop thing. And I feel like we are now just getting the full wake of what has happened in the past month or past year. We're now getting that. Now we're getting the brunt of the turmoil and the frustrations and the anger, etc., from a lot of people that have not been able to make money or not. Just be locked up in their homes. So there's going to be a lot more people out here that are not going to be 110% mentally healthy. And we all need to be focused on each other's mental health. We really do. Now more than ever. Because like I said, this story, we're starting to hear these stories more often. I mean, shoot, last week, maybe the week before that, there was a mass shooting in Indianapolis, or a little outside of Indianapolis, where it was a FedEx warehouse, and multiple people were shot there. Person was having mental issues, mental problems, so on and so forth. All these stories keep producing and keep presenting themselves over and over and over again because of all this stuff that's going on. And It's sad. It's sad. And like I keep saying, this is not the end. This is going to continue happening until we figure out a way to get in front of those moments before things get bad. Clearly. David.
Yeah, I agree. Like you said, the shootings this year, I mean, the mass shootings in particular, just keep increasing at a rate we haven't seen before. And one of those is, unfortunately, that a lot of people have been shooting their entire family lately. So this is not unusual. This is, I guess it's a trend now. So, I mean, it's still terrible. And, it's going to be terrible every time it happens, but it looks like it's going to keep happening. And it's really something we need to find a way to stop. And I do think that part of it is the stress of this year and the past year between all the political intensity and the lockdowns and COVID and all the other stuff that causes problems. So, yeah, I mean, this is tragic, and it's going to be tragic when it happens again, but it is going to happen again, most likely. So what people really need, what we've seen too with every situation like this is that everyone around there is reporting that they had no idea this could happen. And it seems like at least the family was either dead or hostage for several days because they weren't showing up to work. Mm-hmm. So this is another case of where there's a straight up hostage situation in a neighborhood and no one at all is aware. And I mean, part of this is because we don't really communicate with each other normally these days. But on top of that, we're also less communicative because we can't get together as much to some degree, at least in some places.
Facts. We don't. Yeah. We're not. I mean, how often are we going to see our friends and we're going? I'm not feeling very good today. I'm not happy with my, where I am mentally. You don't do that. You're going, I'm doing great, work's great, working my butt off, blah, 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 making that money, you know what I mean? Or trying to, striving to make that money. Not very often are you going up to somebody and saying, hey, this is what's going on with me. Not very often. Not very often at all. You know what I'm saying? Not very often. You don't get that kind of conversation going down, period. You just don't. 95% of the time, you are just faking the funk. But that's what we do. That's what we all do. We all front, But like I said, some people are not like Nur. Nur just said, if I don't feel good, I would tell you. Now, you're very lucky that you're very transparent and very open like that. But the vast majority of the world is not like that. And so it's hard for people to sit here and go, oh, yeah, I'm having a bad day because of this, this, and this. You know what I mean? Not really. Not all of us are that transparent. You know what I'm saying? And that's why people like this particular person, this shooter, holds up has hostages and snaps because they don't know where else to put their frustration or express their frustration at. So there's just something that snaps in their head. But like I said, we don't live in a world where we can actually talk to each other and actually tell each other how we really feel. We don't have that. It doesn't exist. That is what's the word? That's an anomaly. You know what I'm saying? For someone to be completely candid, but it's also, I feel like also people are very scared of saying what they feel because they don't want to offend anybody. They don't want to get all too real because people are going to get upset. And then everyone else gets in their feelings instead of actually listening to the person that's actually telling you, hey, this is my problem with what's going on. I need help, and this is what's going on, and this is what's going on inside of me and what's going on with me mentally. But that doesn't, like I said, doesn't really exist. You know what I mean? And until we actually come to terms with that, and as Tyler Perry said yesterday, in that video that I played yesterday, meet in the middle somehow. This is gonna continue happening until it stops happening, right? We do have a story in a video. Sorry, real quick. There is a story in a video that we're gonna be showing here in a little bit, and it's really hard to watch, and it's not fun. But this could have been a wellness check. This could have been somebody else checking on this person. You know what I'm saying? Didn't have to be the way it transpired, did not have to transpire that way. Every situation deserves to be presented and approached in a specific way. Not all of it has to be manhandled, shackled, and thrown to the ground. Doesn't have to be that. But we don't live in that society yet. And until we actually do have that society, this is going to happen until, like I said, until we don't have to have that situation happen anymore. Or until we find a new way to step in and assess and approach the situation in a proper manner. Unfortunately, y'all.
And I mean, I really do think the only way to start counteracting this is for there to be some sort of social element added back into everyone's daily lives, because what's happening right now is that fundamentally people are going feral. They don't have interaction with other humans for the most part, or if they do, it's online, so they don't have all that you don't have all those details from physical communication and eye-to-eye contact and all of that. And on top of that, a lot of places, not everywhere, but especially in cities right now, you can't even go outside to like a park or to go for a hike or something. And thankfully, a lot of us do live in rural areas where you can do that. But for those who don't, you're basically sequestered at this point, and it's going to lead to some degree of insanity if you can't interact with other people and you can't interact with nature. There's nothing for your mind or your body to really interact or develop to. You're just going to be sitting there with your own thoughts. It's going to just become this recursive thing. Like anytime someone's left with their own thoughts, it's like the devil's, what is it, the idle hands of the devil's playground or something like that.
Devil's plaything. Yeah.
Plaything. Yeah. So I mean, it's exactly that. Like when people are not only left alone but forced to be alone to a certain degree, and they don't have anyone to help develop their thoughts or their feelings, they're going to become just basically more and more feral. They're going to forget how to interact in those ways, and they're going to forget how to be compassionate if they spend this entire time somewhat locked away. And this is coming after all of the political unrest that pushed distrust within the family, pushed people working against their own family members, which is exactly, the family is exactly what you would have to depend on right now. And that's already been cracked by the last year of politics. Combine that with people not being able to communicate freely with their family members because of that, and it's just going to keep getting worse, because basically we have a bunch of people in solitary confinement in a lot of places, and it's not a healthy place mentally or physically to be.
I agree. Sorry, it sounded like you just stopped mid. It sounded like you stopped mid sentence. It's very. It's very true. And I do think. Well, Spock said something. Spock, can you save me? Said, please, guys, please stop saying you can't interact with people. I live in LA. The only thing you can do is pack into an indoor area like sardines. Or the only thing you can't do is pack into an indoor area like sardines. Please stop. Now, we aren't sitting here saying that you can't interact with people. Maybe Spock is saying something in regards to the chat. But no, I think that, there are many ways that you can interact with people still to this day. I'm interacting with David right now, and I've never physically met him in my entire life. But I'll tell you what, it has kept my mental stability in check. Because I've been able to talk to someone like David or T or Brion. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I feel like, what were we going to say? Say it again. I
was going to say, you do have places like that where, some of the lockdowns are starting to let up now, but, thousands of people have been arrested just for having social interactions to some degree, or had their properties, water, basic human rights cut off. So this is obviously a situation that's affected a lot of people. This is also a situation that people who have caused these shootings have pointed to in some of these cases. So it's obviously a strong factor.
But I guess, but the question I have though too is, what makes somebody go from being, what's the breaking point? And I know that might be like too intense question and all that, But that is the question that I have in my mind. It's like, what makes somebody go to that extent? What makes somebody go from, talking to somebody, like me talking to you, right? And maybe I'm putting up a front. I'm not really telling you what's on my mind, to having hostages and holding an assault rifle in my hand. You know what I'm saying? Like, what makes that? I guess that's the ongoing question, because I'll never know, because I'm not in that person's shoes, and I'm not going to sit here and try to pass judgment on that person. But it does make you wonder if there were ever any signs leading up to this incident, or if this just happened. You see what I'm saying? Just out of nowhere, boom, next thing you know, he blinks his eyes, or that person blinks his eyes and he's holding AR-15 with hostages, over to his side, crying and scared to death. You know what I'm saying? It just makes you wonder what makes you go from regular, everyday, average American, taxpayer guy to out there getting shot because he had hostages. It just makes you wonder what's the timeline between that, and were there ever any warning signs, any red flags, any heads up, or if that person ever tried to reach out. You see what I'm saying? Ever tried to reach out to a person just to try to express their feelings, or let whatever they have inside bottled up, let it all out. You see what I'm saying? But I feel like that's something that we're not going to know fully. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like we all need to start listening to each other a lot more often, and keep it real. What are you going to say, David?
So I think a large part of it, and I am going to be pointing back to the isolation, but it's basically the paranoia, because that's been showing up in pretty much all of these cases, is that it's been led by a strong spot of paranoia, which is exactly what you expect from people to be that are isolated. Because when you don't have much human interaction, every minor interaction seems much more significant than it is. If you're left alone in some sort of isolation, typically the mind will just continue to think over those interactions and turn them into something they're not, because your mind has nothing else to do. So it starts creating stories out of these interactions, and you start getting paranoid because every interaction becomes a complex thing that you have to break down, since your mind is just in this place of chaos where there's nothing else for you to do. And so the longer you're isolated, the longer you're left to your own thoughts. And I mean, that's the entire point of a society, is that we each reinforce positive thoughts on the other people, or at least ideally. And without anyone to do that, without anyone to like sit there, communicate with you, to shoot your ideas off of, or to correct you in these peculiar ideas that you might have, that, sometimes you might just miss a point that someone points it out and you're like, oh, I was completely wrong. Without that, people just get lost in this sort of illusion of the world they create, because they're the only ones they can refer to, and it just creates this entire paranoia where they don't trust their family anymore, because they don't see those interactions as normal. They see them as something that they have to break down, and that just destroys the trust even further. They have no one to turn to. They become angry, they become frustrated, and they're already isolated. And it's not unusual for people that feel paranoid, or people that are in isolation, prison or otherwise, to become violent because of that. And what we're seeing is basically that playing out on a national scale. This isn't anything unusual. This is stuff that's been happening for all of human history. It's just that now we're seeing it happen on such a large scale that's fairly unprecedented, because, not only are there 3 times as many people as there were 80 years ago, we've gone from something like 3 billion to 8 billion people, but everyone still feels more alone, because there's not this place where they can communicate freely right now. And I think a lot of problem does come from the internet, because people go there to try and open up, but obviously everyone online is naturally adversarial. People aren't generally coming online to talk, to come to a resolution or come to a solution of something. They're there to fight and prove themselves right.
Facts,
so
David.
You're not going to find that intimacy online a lot of cases.
I love you, David. You just dropped some serious facts, man. You just dropped some knowledge bombs up in this piece. No, what you just said is very true, and I want to echo that, because something, a comment here from Siri just said something and it's true too, because we do live in this world. You know what I mean? Where she said people people feel a lot of pressure to succeed too. They get peppered with images and expectations that most of us can't live up to, and it erodes their sense of self. And I do agree with that. You know what I'm saying? And that's just echoing what you just said a second ago, which is like, we live in this society where, you know, we are all part of being social and all that. But then we also have this digital society, this digital social media stuff that we see every single day. And what they perceive in this world, social media, in these platforms, what a level of success is the tropical beaches and the private plane and you looking like a high value man with your high value woman, you know what I mean? Looking just perfect all the time, when that's not really what it is. That's not real life. You know what I'm saying? There's, just because those photos in front of those private planes and all that stuff, they don't own that private plane. They still fart. They still burp. They still take massive stinky dumps, by the way. That's also life too. You know what I mean? They still have moments where life is not successful, or they have downtime, which is boring. You know what I'm saying? They just happen to have people who help them take really good photos, and they put them up, and it makes them look like they're just nothing but solidly successful all day long. But no one sees the downtime. No one sees the valleys. They only see the peaks. And that's what they show on social media. So then you got people who are sitting there scrolling through, watching the stuff, seeing all these people have their successes, and only to find out that that is all fake, all lies, but it's messing up with their brains because they're not making the money that they feel like they should be making. Their arm isn't around some dime piece that they think that is a dime piece, or they're not have their arm around the man with the power suit on. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, it's just, after some time, you're only seeing social media. All you're seeing is everybody succeeding. And in your mind, you're going, I'm not. But I don't have the money like he does. He's standing next to a really dope whip that he probably doesn't even own. It's probably a friend of his that just let him stand in front of the damn whip in the first place. But that's eating away in your brain. You see what I'm saying? And then you're like, damn, I just wanted... See, he's right there, and he's with these beautiful women. He's making money. He's successful. What about me? And then it turns into the snowball effect happens. It gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger to the point you snap. And then, of course, you can't talk to your friends because you don't want them thinking that because you are in your feelings or you're mentally just having some issues, just going through some things. You know what I'm saying? They automatically think that you're unsuccessful or that you're crazy because you're suddenly telling them, I'm not happy about this right now. I'm just not happy right now. And I'm just going to be real with you. I'm just not happy. But all of a sudden, everyone goes, oh, he's unsuccessful. It must be a money thing. Or if you do have a loved one, they go, oh, it must be relationship problems. And it's like, no, I'm just not happy right now. I want to be in a better place. That's the problem with what we live in. We all live in this world. I feel like they took what we feel and see in high school. You know what I mean? Where, the popular jock or the popular girl, the most beautiful girl in the school, and the most popular, best looking jock guy in the school that we all look at, and they have to obtain that look because it's that facade, that adolescent facade that they got to give off the entire time, right? I feel like they took that high school thing, that high school mentality, and they dragged it onto social media. That's literally what it is. You know what I mean? Look, I'm so dope. Look at all my friends. Ha! Taking a photo in mid-laugh, holding our champagne, and, brought to you by Movement Watches or something like that. You know what I mean? And everyone's like, oh, he's so successful. And it's like, come on, y'all. No. But we live in this world, and it keeps playing. It keeps rolling and rolling and rolling and rolling like that. You know what I'm saying? And it gets worse. So, and now that we are, for the past year that we went through 2020, 2020 was something else. But 2020, we go through all that. and we're still locked up. But everyone else is, sitting there with stacks of money going, money calling me, bruh. You know what I mean? I'm on the phone with money. You know what I'm saying? Like all that stuff we see getting built and built and built and built to the point where people are getting angry. People get angry. Yeah, it's only personal because, I want that car and I want that money too. No, I'm just kidding. I don't want that stuff until I don't want that stuff until it's blessed upon me. You feel me? And even then, I'm not sitting there, me personally, I'm not one of those people who's going to sit there and go, here in my garage, check out my Lambo, but all these stacks of books, knowledge. I'm not going to do that. That's stupid. It's fake and it's not fun. And I'm not a fake dude. You know what I'm saying? That's just me, though. That's just me. So at some point, we all need to start figuring out how we can all talk to each other. You know what I'm saying? How we can address each other, be real with each other. And until then, this kind of stuff that we're talking about right now, and we've been talking about for the past 3 weeks, I think, it's going to continue. It's going to continue. It's unfortunate. But we got to jump into this next story, guys, unfortunately, because I know we could talk about all that stuff, the facade and the BS all day damn long. But we unfortunately have to get into the next story. Here is some good news. I'm very excited about this, actually. I'm very happy about this particular story. And this all goes around the story of Ahmaud Arbery. Now, if you don't remember Ahmaud Arbery was a young man that was was jogging. He ran into he ran into a house that was being constructed. He took a look. He was looking around at this building, because apparently he was really interested in architecture and how homes are built. He leaves that house and runs off. Now, apparently, there were some men that saw him run off thinking that he stole something from that home. Those 3 men chased after him with their cars, cornered him. There was a huge fight that happened, and he was shot and killed. Okay? Long story short. Now, there is some good news here. Step in the right direction. 3 men charged with hate crime, attempted kidnapping in Ahmaud Arbery shooting. So, the men also face charges of murder, malice, aggravated assault, false imprisonment, and criminal attempt to commit a felony. All 3 pleaded, of course, not guilty to the charges. So this is absolutely good news, in my personal opinion. I know some of y'all feel some type of way about this. Not majority of the chat, but you feel me. Okay, there's some people out there that I don't know why they consistently seem to side with the opposite side of the world. This kid did not do anything wrong. He was running. He was jogging in the streets or in the neighborhood, minding his own damn business, having a good old jog. And he was shot and killed because 3 men wanted to go and just, they just wanted to bring some terror to a man. All right. To a young man. All right. So a federal grand jury has delivered hate crime charges against 3 men accused of killing Ahmaud Arbery, a black man who was jogging through a neighborhood in Georgia in February 2020. Travis and Gregory McMichael and William Roddy Bryan were each charged with a count of interference of rights and attempting kidnapping. The McMichaels received additional charges of using, carrying, and brandishing a weapon in a violent crime. The men also face charges of murder, malice, aggravated assault, false imprisonment, and criminal attempt to commit a felony. All 3 pleaded not guilty to the charges. Arbery's mother, Wanda Cooper Jones, told CNN following the new hate crime charges they were one step closer to justice. She continues, they did the investigation properly and they came out with those indictments. So my family and I are pleased. Of course, Benjamin Crump, Attorney Benjamin Crump, who represented the families of Breonna Taylor, Daunte Wright, and George Floyd, said in his statement that the charges reflect another step towards racial justice in the U.S. He says, this is an important milestone in America's uphill march towards racial justice, and we applaud the Justice Department for treating this heinous act for what it is, a purely evil, racially motivated hate crime. Now, the McMichaels say they saw, this is a little bit of a background story, just so you know. The McMichaels say they saw Arbery jogging through a neighborhood and assumed he was responsible for a string of break-ins, quote-unquote break-ins. They proceeded to pursue the 25-year-old in their truck before the violent confrontation. I mean, they straight up hit him and then cut him off with their own truck. Brian recorded the incident showing the ambush, which resulted in Arbery's murder. So, charges were not delivered until 10 weeks after the killing when a video emerged. Now, by the way, see what I'm saying? And this is something that we talked about for a while. We talked about this for a good minute. The incident happened. Arbery was shot and killed. Those men, of course, they gave, the cops came in, they got their thing. They took Arbery's body to the coroner. These three men went back home and they did their damn thing. They did their own damn thing. They chilled. Okay? For 10 weeks, y'all. 10. Finally, they started to press charges because the video emerged. The video came out. Now imagine if that video never came out. Now I know Mark Jones just said, who recorded it? Let me just say this again. Willie Roddy Bryan was the one in the second car that was filming the entire thing. So this video, however it came out, leaked onto the social medias. And now these three men, 10 weeks later, were finally brought in and charged. So now they are being charged with hate crime, attempted kidnapping, murder, malice, aggravated assault, false imprisonment, and criminal attempt to commit a felony. Finally, we are stepping in the right direction for justice for Ahmaud Arbery. I got to be honest. I know some of you guys are maybe thinking this is a sad story. It is a sad story, but I see this as a positive. We're stepping towards something positive. We're going to finally get some justice. Of course, they pleaded not guilty. Those three pieces of trash. Of course, they pleaded not guilty because they feel like they didn't do anything wrong. In fact, we already talked about this before. But if my memory serves me correctly, they did not even want Ahmaud Arbery's, they didn't want to call him a victim. They did not want to refer Ahmaud Arbery when they were when they're going into court and everything. They're asking them not to call him a victim because they feel like if they use the word victim, it could play against them in their plea for not guilty. It could sway the jury if they hear the victim when he clearly was that. And we all seen the footage. We all seen the video. 10 weeks, by the way. They had a full-on tussle with this kid. He was fighting for his life. And he was shot and killed. Those guys got into their car after dealing with all this stuff. Allegedly unshook. Like they were shook because there's body cam footage of one of the guys talking about it like, oh my God, and he's obviously distraught. But he went home for 10 weeks. No remorse whatsoever. He didn't give two damns about the damn thing. But hey, Finally, somehow, somebody was able to leak that footage. They were brought in and charged, and now they're getting smacked in the face. There ain't no way they're going to get out and found not guilty. There's no way. There's no way. So, I think this is really great news. It does make you, it does get you triggered. You know what I'm saying? It does trigger me because it angers me that we're even having this conversation. But on some real ish, y'all, we are that much closer to justice for him. And I'm very happy about that. So I see this as great news. David, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I agree for the most part here. This is definitely, I mean, the situation itself is one that should have been investigated in the first place without having to wait 10 weeks for the video, obviously. So this is a good step. I agree with that. One of the things that their defense, the three men, their defense has said is that there is some sort of, okay, let me find it exactly. This is attorney Bob Rubin and Jason Sheffield said this. There's absolutely nothing in the indictment that identifies how this is a federal hate crime, and it ignores without apology that Georgia law allows a citizen to detain a person who is committing burglaries until police arrive. And this seems to be the main, I guess, point of defense from the attorneys right now, which is very misleading because there's no evidence that Arbery ever committed a burglary. And, I mean, see, what he's going for is basically saying that they were trying to uphold the law. What they would even need to do to get that to go anywhere is they would need to prove that Ahmaud Arbery was committing a robbery, that he was trying to violently get away, because they don't have the right. They have the right to detain him if there's evidence of a burglary, but none of the rest is acceptable. And even that, they would need to still prove within the court of law beyond a reasonable doubt that he was committing a burglary, which they would have not done, obviously. So you can't just let them go saying they prevented a burglary when there's no evidence of there being a burglary that they prevented. Unsurprisingly, Gao, the defense for, or not the defense, but the prosecutor for, ended up saying that, one second, let me get this right.
You good?
I got the name wrong.
Take your time,
okay.
man.
Okay, so Gao said that he is Brian's attorney, and he told this to NPR. Here it is. He told NPR this in an interview, that Roddy Bryan has committed no crime. We look forward to a fair and speedy trial and to the day when Mr. Bryan is released and reunited with his family. So that's basically the argument they're going with. I don't really see that going through. Like I said, they would have to prove fairly strongly that he was committing a robbery in the first place, and they'd still have to explain the act of pretty much violently engaging him with a vehicle and then shooting him, which is not within that Georgia law. So their defense mostly just comes down to this idea that they can stop a burglary, and that's really it. But all the other things they did, even if there was strong evidence of a burglary, was illegal. And like I said, if they're going to get off of this without a murder charge, they would have to prove that he's performing some sort of burglary, which I don't think they can do. And even still, they're most likely, as far as I can tell from the Georgia law, would be facing some sort of charges for killing him without cause. Like you said, they are charging them with a hate crime for basically, I mean, not just a hate crime, but there's other things that are more universal. Like they're charged for impeding his progress, for kidnapping, for murder. So like these are all the things that you would be charged with if you stopped somebody without reason. So basically it's going to come down, I think they're going to argue whether or not he was committing a burglary. But even if they were able to prove that he was committing a burglary, I still would see that these three would face some sort of manslaughter or murder charges, because they far exceeded what the Georgia law states. And the only reason I'm even bringing this up is because their attorney brought it up. I don't think it's a strong defense or anything, and that's why I'm kind of pointing it out. Because they need to do a lot of work to make that stand. And to me, it doesn't stand with the evidence we already have. So I think this is what we're going to see, is that they're going to be focusing on trying to defame Ahmaud Arbery and try to create this idea that he is a criminal, whether or not he has any history, and that I actually don't know. But that's what they're going to try to. Yeah, that's what they're going to do.
Oh,
they're going to try to paint him that way.
They're going to make him. They're going to try to give it off like they're gonna make it seem like he's everything but a child of God. Real talk. They are going to try to just rip apart his name and rip apart his legacy, like who he is, his legacy, what he's left behind, etc. They're going to do everything they can to make it seem like he's a really bad person, and not just a victim of something that just really happened. And it sucks because I'm seeing some people's comments and everything, and it's true. You know, there's a lot of videos out here, and without those videos, certain outcomes would not be the outcomes that we have seen recently without those videos. So as much as I keep saying, like, you know, I'm so tired of seeing these videos and seeing these people get hurt and all that, these are very important pieces of video. And I keep saying, pull those phones out, keep recording. Don't stop, because sometimes that's the deadliest weapon that you got is your phone now. And it's sad. Now, Kiki was asking something really quick, and I saw this in the comments. The comments are flying today, and I do appreciate it. Keep the comments going, fam. I appreciate all y'all. And don't forget to hit that like button down below. I'd really appreciate it, okay? But she was asking, wasn't the house open? Yes. It was a skeleton of a house. The house wasn't even fully built yet. They were still putting it together. So the thing wasn't done yet. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Like the house was still just wood, exposed wood. It was a construction site, for crying out loud. And this kid, Ahmaud, was literally going, hey, I just really like seeing how houses are built, and he was looking around and checking things out. That was it. And then he ran off. He started running. He started continuing his path, you know, doing his morning run. That was all he was doing. These guys went out of their way to think that there was something more going on, and there wasn't. You know what I mean? So, and they were like, well, he stole a hammer. Bruh. If he stole a hammer, you really want to run him down and try to shoot him, or actually shoot him and kill him over a hammer? Bruh, come on. There are millions of hammers in the world. Hammers are not that expensive. So if he really was to steal a hammer, it's a freaking hammer, yo. But find out he didn't have anything on his body. He didn't have anything on his person. He had no possession of anything.
I mean, if I understand it, as a construction site, it would be pretty obvious if he started taking off any expensive construction gear, because it'd be bigger than his body.
Exactly. So, like, how would he be able to do any of that stuff? And a hammer, how could he run with a hammer hanging out of his pants, or like hanging in his pocket, his jogging pants, or his jogging shorts, because he was wearing shorts? How would he successfully be able to run with that? He didn't have anything on him. It's just ridiculous.
It doesn't make sense to even go into a construction site to steal a $5 hammer.
Facts. Who does that? Like I said, there's plenty of hammers in the world, man. Plenty. You know what I'm saying? And he got shot over an assumption, over a speculation, because some guys just wanted to go hunting. Real talk. They just wanted to go hunting, which is ridiculous. Anyway, we got to jump into a quick commercial break. Very quick, so stick around. We got some dope news to talk about for my things I find dope. We'll be right back. This is the Pascal Show. Bye.
Homeowners and property managers, if you're looking for effective and humane ways to remove wild animals and deal with the damage that they have caused, we have good news for you. Introducing Wildlife Command Center, a professional nuisance wildlife management company specializing in providing animal removal for residential, industrial, and commercial clients. We are the only wildlife company that checks 70 different areas on a structure to determine the answers to the following questions. Exactly which animal are we dealing with? How is the animal getting inside the home? What kind of damage is the animal doing to the structure? Once we get the answers to all of these questions, we develop and write up an action plan to resolve the animal issue completely and provide a quote to implement that action plan. We perform a very in-depth 70-point wildlife inspection. From visually inspecting the highest point, the chimney, to physically crawling inside the attic space and looking for animals, chewed wires, fecal matter, chewed structural wood. We inspect everything. Our inspection process covers all of the following 70 points: animal-proof chimney cap, roof ridge vents, roof to soffit junctions, dormer fascia, attic gable vents, gutter lines, fascia trim, garage door, utility penetrations, water, gas, electric, and cable, bathroom vents, attic roof ridge vents, attic electrical, wiring, junctions, boxes, and lighting, concrete decks, additions, wooden crawl spaces, basement plumbing, penetrations, ceiling, floor, and wall. Wildlife Command Center's mission is to deliver the finest quality wildlife removal and pest control service that is safe for the environment. For more information, call us now.
Hey, welcome back, guys. Thank you guys so much for sticking around and being a part of the conversation. If this is your first time checking out this show, please go hit that like button down below. Don't forget to crush that subscribe button. That would really mean a lot. We do this show Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Central Standard Time, and I do an evening show Tuesday through Thursday at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. I'm very excited about tonight's show. It should be a really fun one. So be sure to tune in tonight, all right? Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and if you can, hit that join button. Like I say, $4.99 a month helps support this show and keep giving you guys your stories, okay? As I always say. So please hit that join button. It would really mean a lot, all right? And join in the conversation over here and have fun with the Pascal Show chat, family chat. Anyway, it's time for Things I Find Dope. And the things I find dope today's a good one. Today's a good reason to smile, because here's the thing. As we are starting to learn, the country's starting to open up again, slowly but surely. But one thing that is huge, I think this is massive, okay? Shout out to my people in New York City, NYC 212, all right? New York City plans for full reopening on July 1st. Mayor says we are ready. This is great news, guys. In my personal opinion, this is fantastic news. New York City is aiming for a full reopening on July 1st. Mayor Bill de Blasio said Thursday, suggesting a total removal of COVID-19 restrictions that have been in place for well more than a year by early summer. That is 100%. Reopening means full capacity for restaurants, bars, stores, shops, and small businesses, hair salons and barbershops, gyms and fitness classes, arenas, stadiums, music halls, museums, and theaters, de Blasio said. He says in a quote, "Our plan is to fully reopen New York City on July 1st. We are ready for stores to open, for businesses to open, offices, theaters, full strength," the mayor added. This is going to be the summer of New York City. You're going to see amazing activities, cultural activities coming back. I think people are going to flock to New York City because they want to live again. I think that's awesome. I'm sorry, but I think that's awesome news. I'm very excited because if New York City starts to open up to full capacity, like they're going to 0 to 100 real quick, that could be a really great thing for the rest of the country. And I'm very excited about it. But let's continue with the rest of this paragraph here. It's not clear if additional COVID requirements like proof of Orange Blast will apply, or whether the reopening could be expected in stages. Broadway hasn't been expected to return until September at the earliest, while smaller theaters could reopen over the summer. School will be back in quote-unquote full strength come September. All right, so the mayor has said indoor masking will remain the norm for some time. All right, so in a statement he reiterated Thursday as it relates to the full reopening. So, I mean, in my personal opinion, this is some great fan-freaking-tastic news. I am so hype about this because that means if New York City can open, that means the rest of the country could possibly follow in suit. Because New York City is one of the first places to shut down because of everything. New York City is hurting, all right? Bad. There are a lot of people that just left. A lot of people just left the city, left the state. Same thing with LA. A lot of people, there was the exodus of California. Everyone just left because COVID was bad. Now he's sitting here saying, hey, we about to open up this thing. This is going to be great news. And I can't wait. I mean, obviously, tread lightly before you know what I'm saying? All I can say is I'm hopeful. You know what I'm saying? I'm not sitting here saying this is the best choice or the worst choice. This is a hopeful choice. And I'm hoping that New York City does just fine. David, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm not too surprised to see this at this point. I mean, we just had Georgia and Texas do so about a month ago, and we would have started seeing negative results about 3 weeks ago. And so far, there's been no notable uptick in problems. I'm not going to get too specific, obviously. Right. We got to be very careful. Yeah. So Georgia and Texas have been successful with this. It is very possible New York will be successful with this as well. New York has a much higher pineapple blast rate than anywhere else. So, other than California in the U.S. So they're likely, assuming those help, are going to be one of the better off places because Georgia and Texas are not big on that list, and they're doing okay so far. So yeah, I think this is overall good news. I'm not too surprised that New York feels this is necessary at this point. They lost 4 million residents last year, just people that left. And they still have that going on. It seems like about another million have left this year, if not 2 million. We don't have the hard numbers for this year, but 4 million last year is for sure.
Yes.
So people are leaving the city in droves.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And I think this might help with that. I mean, there's a lot of people out there, that they're saying that even with the vaccine, they're going to wear the masks or whatever. I mean, it's a lot of it is political. It's not necessarily based on what's going to be effective or not.
Careful.
So either way, people are going to be wearing their masks, so they're happy with that.
Long story short, because I want to nip this in the bud because I don't want to talk any further on it because, if we talk further on it, this could turn into something that gets us in trouble, and I don't want to get in trouble right now. So with that being said, I'm very excited about it. And I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, my brother. I just don't want to. I feel like we're about to swim into uncharted waters, and I just don't want that to bite us in the ass. Yeah. But long story short, I am very hopeful about this. I am excited about this. I'm definitely interested to see how they approach and how New York City handles the reopening of everything. But that could honestly give us all chances to get our lives back on track. You know what I'm saying? Maybe the mental health and all that stuff too will drop significantly. Cases of mental health and everything could drop significantly, etc. There are all kinds of people, especially in New York City, a lot of creators, artists, etc., that can't do what they usually do because of everything that's been going on, because of Pineapple Blast, and because of the Rhone. You know what I'm saying? Row. So, I'm like I said, I'm gonna wrap it up. But I am very excited to see what happens here in the near future. All we can do is sit back and see how New York City handles it, how New York City handles the reopening of things. You know what I'm saying? One last thing, David. What were you going to say?
Yeah, I mean,
just careful.
Obviously, they don't have as many people like Elon Musk and Joe Rogan in terms of California, where some of the more profitable names for the region. Actually, they ended up
they dip
personally. Yeah.
they dipset. Now, but that's the thing. That's the other question in itself, which, you know, we could talk about very shortly. The question is, are people going to turn back around and go back to their respective cities? Like, for example, Joe Rogan just left. You know what I'm saying? He just left, y'all. Like, he dipset. Now turning around and he's going back. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of a thing of like, all right, there's only so much. Like, he already set up a whole new spot. Like, he's already, you know, roots are planted in the grounds in Texas right now. I mean, he is doing his thing. So, and there's a lot of people that left New York City, LA, etc. because of this. So it's like, do they turn back around and go back to New York City? Are the opportunities still there in New York City, especially for the creatives? You see what I'm saying? Are the possibilities still there? Because I'm hearing that other cities are becoming the new Silicon Valley. I've been hearing that like crazy. Like, you know, they're saying that with Miami. They're saying that with Austin, Texas. They're saying that, oh, you know, you don't need to be in LA anymore, or you don't need to be in New York City anymore because the opportunities are growing down south. So,
and there's also the issue of taxes because MSNBC and Bloomberg have been saying that New York and California will get hit hardest by the upcoming taxes. And Bloomberg said something like most of the taxes will end up falling down to the middle class. And then MSNBC said that the upper class would only pay 90% of the taxes. And since the majority of that's going to California and New York, I do not expect them to start going back because we're already going to see some tax increase for that. And if the mileage tax goes through, I doubt they're going to want to be traveling back and forth between California. So right now, just in terms of the way taxes might be going, it would be probably they would lose money going back to California or New York at this point if Bloomberg and MSNBC are right about the effects of the tax changes, as well as. And like I said, those are terrible places to be at once that mileage tax goes through. And Biden and Mayorkas really like that. So you don't want to be locked in traffic driving every day if you have to start paying based on how many miles you're driving.
No kidding.
I think, so I think these places will continue to not grow much.
Yeah. I mean, you know, when it comes to LA, for sure. LA for sure. There's not going to be a lot of people. I don't, like I said, I think that people are leaving. And I don't think they're going to be turning around and coming back. I think that a lot of people are going to be like, well, shoot, man, I just got here, man. And I don't think that there's going to be a lot of people going back out. And I think that a lot of people are realizing that the internets is the way of the future as well. A lot of the creatives. Let's be real. A lot of the people that have left their respective metropolitan cities have left not only because, like, LA is the entertainment capital of the world, you know, but and New York, lots of creatives, etc. over there as well. But they're starting to realize that, oh well, shoot, if I could find success online, you know, I can build a substantial business online and not have to worry about like going to these casting directors and making sure I get a job, you know, and hoping to get that job. F it. I could do everything online now. And I think that a lot of people are starting to realize that as well. So they see somebody like Joe Rogan who's found extreme success online. They're going, well, let me follow in suit. Let me create, you know, let me do that. Let me stop everything and create a little show called the Pascal Show. You know what I mean? It's totally normal. You know what I'm saying? See what I did there?
Yeah.
But anyway, go ahead.
I was gonna say, even like offices have a good chance here. A lot of middle managers aren't happy about it, but from the corporate perspective, and they are looking at this, staying at a distance can be really effective for them because they won't have to pay as much for office space. And ultimately, this will mean they can cut out a lot of the middle management. So like if you work an office job now, your direct manager might not be there anymore because you don't need as many people watching over your back if everyone's online. So this could be a way of the future. It's hard to say, but it's definitely some things that major companies are looking at, and especially tech companies like, Google and Facebook and all of that.
Right. They're not like, we're now at that place. They don't really care. Like, they of course they care that there's a Kevin Hart and there's Tom Cruise and there's there's a Tyler Perry and all that, and those are important too. But you know, the kids and people are not consuming them on an everyday basis. They're looking to YouTube, they're looking to the social media platforms, TikTok and whatnot, to watch these people. You know what I mean? And be influenced by those people. So yeah, I feel like the Hollywood and the entertainment business and all that is obviously has been changing, but has rapidly changed over the past year because of everything that's gone on, because of the pandemic. And so we're just gonna have to, like I said, with New York City reopening, I wonder if they're going to thrive. Obviously New York City is not going anywhere, but I'm just saying as far as the businesses, as far as the entertainment business, etc. Because there's a lot of theaters out over there. There's a lot of there's plenty of restaurants. There's plenty of waiters that are aspiring actors and actresses that do shows and wait tables to keep their, to keep the money flowing and so that they can pay their rent, etc. So I'm interested to see how much they bounce back starting in July, and if they bounce back, if they have any spikes. I'm just hoping that doesn't happen, but like I said, fingers crossed. I'm hopeful. And I think this is really great news, and I think it's about time that we are able to open up a little bit, just a tiny bit, y'all, just a tiny, tiny bit, so that's good, so we got to go into this next thing, guys, because unfortunately we got things to do and very little time to do it. This one's a tough one. This one's a little bit of a tough one. Let me see. Hold on. Make sure I have this. Hold on. Excuse me. Oof. All right. So I have I have body cam footage. All right. Yes, we're going down that road. We're literally going down that road, unfortunately, but we have to go into this story, and it's a sad story, guys. And like I said, I'm sorry, and I'm tired of talking about these things and seeing full-on executions on video, but unfortunately, this is something that we need to talk about, and this is something that's just not fair. All right, there was a man by the name of Mario Gonzalez that was killed during an arrest by two police officers. And I saw the video this morning, or rewatched the video this morning, and it's a very interesting breakdown. Okay, we have the footage. I'm going to play that here for you guys very quickly. But this is interesting. The family of Gonzalez, their lawyer, says police didn't need to arrest a man who died after being, didn't need to arrest Mario Gonzalez, who died after being pinned to the ground. This man was literally pinned to the ground. So Alameda police mishandled, quote unquote, mishandled the arrest of 26-year-old Mario Gonzalez last week and caused his death, according to the attorney representing the man's family. Gonzalez died the day before George Floyd's verdict, the 19th of April, after police pinned him to the ground for at least 5 minutes. 5 minutes this time, guys. The Alameda Police Department said Gonzalez suffered a medical emergency, quote unquote, after a scuffle with officers. We're going to show you the footage, and I'm going to ask you, do you think this is a scuffle? Okay? Julia Sherwin, the attorney representing Gonzalez's family, said Gonzalez's actions that day didn't warrant law enforcement response from the start. He's unarmed. He's just got a comb. He's been combing his hair, and he's been loitering there for half an hour. All right? Why is this required? Why is this required? A law enforcement response right at the moment is beyond me. Sherwin said officers never told Gonzalez why he was under arrest before they attempted to handcuff him. All right. So interim Alameda Police Chief Randy Fenn said in the body cam footage, Gonzalez does not appear to be violent or abusive before officers move to arrest him. Okay. Fenn said it's unclear whether officers used justifiable action. Let me just say this again. Who is this guy? Who is this guy one last time? Interim Alameda Police Chief Randy Fenn. Randy Fenn says this on top of this. It is unclear whether officers used justifiable action or excessive force. 3 ongoing investigations will determine whether the officers acted appropriately. Like I said, let me read that one more time. So, interim Alameda Police Chief Randy Fenn says it's unclear. It's unclear whether the officers used justifiable action or excessive force. What? Okay, guys. Okay. I want to show you guys the footage. Okay? Because we could sit here all day and start asking why and what happened and this, that, and the third. But it's better if you just see it for yourselves. So, we're going to get into this. By the way, viewer discretion is advised. This does have graphic content. So for anybody who's watching this right now, and you've been with me. We've seen many body cam footage. I'm sure you guys have a stomach for this, but I'm just saying it because I love y'all and I care for you guys. Let's take a look at this video. It's 8 minutes long, okay? And you tell me if he was being aggressive. You tell me if they were using appropriate actions, if they were following protocol or not. There is something very interesting throughout the thing, and I'm going to point it out as well. But let's take a look at this. Hold on one second. Here it is. On April 19th, Alameda, California police responded to calls reporting a man talking to himself. Okay, talking to himself. Officers tried to handcuff Mario Gonzalez, 26 years old, and ultimately wrestled him to the ground. One of the officers then got on top of Gonzalez, and at one point, a second officer does as well. And I'm just reading this because my face is in front of it. Both frequently shifted their positions throughout the interaction. I just want to make sure that's abundantly clear. Let's take a look at this. Gonzalez, sorry, I thought we were going straight to the video. Gonzalez became unresponsive and was later pronounced dead at the hospital. The following clips are excerpts from the body cam footage released by the city of Alameda, parts of which were blurred. I don't get it because they show his full face and then they blur his face later. It doesn't make any sense, but let's watch this, my children. Let's go.
Hey, bud. How's it going?
Hi.
Just coming to check on you, make sure you're okay. Somebody called and said you were maybe not feeling so great.
Well, I'm feeling alright. Yes.
You're alright? Okay, what's
It's just that I think I've been staying here for the longest.
Really? I don't think we've met before.
Yeah, maybe so, maybe not.
Okay.
Yep. So, it's probably like my like I don't know what's going on.
Are you feeling okay or what?
Yeah, I'm feeling good. Like all right. Like something happened over there.
Sorry, guys. I don't mean to cut it, stop in the middle, but I just want to point something. It's not even the middle, but stop in the beginning of it. But I just want to make something apparently abundantly clear. One of the things is that he has a comb in his hand. He does not look aggressive at all. He does not look like he's trying to hurt anybody. He is minding his own damn business. Okay, he's got 2 carts. You know what I'm saying, or 2 baskets with him. You know, shopping baskets. He's standing there chilling, talking with the officer. Clearly, there's something not right. Something's not right. But that's about it. Okay.
Okay, here's the plan. Okay, I gotta identify you, so I know who I'm talking to. Make sure you don't have any warrants or anything like that. Okay.
He's look at it, leg crossed. He chilling. Does he look like somebody who needs to be arrested right now? Does he look like he's an aggressive individual? He's leaning on the post. He's chilling in the cut. He chilling, y'all. Okay.
Come up with a plan. Let me know that you're not going to be drinking in our parks over here. Hey, listen.
Like, you know, stuff like that. Yeah,
and then we can be on our merry way, okay? Do you have an ID on you?
Merry-go-round?
Yeah, like that. Do you have an ID on you?
Like this, okay.
If you can't do that, then I'm going to have to take you, okay?
What?
What do you want to... Yeah, do you have your ID with you?
So, I was like walking like that a little bit. What, San Jose? Never mind.
Okay.
Yeah. Holy smokes.
Alright. Do you have an ID with you?
Something over here, okay? There's something here.
Hey, come over here.
What?
Come over here. We don't want you to fall down, okay?
Yeah.
Alright.
Yep, they're getting wet.
We're just going to put your hands behind
you.
you.
I got it.
What? You got what?
No, wait. It's wait, what?
Hey, Mario.
Heck?
Hey, Mario, walk with me, okay?
Well, it's not that.
Okay, walk with me.
There
you go. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it.
So, I didn't start. No.
Hey, Mario, please don't
Relax.
do that.
Just relax.
Just relax for us, okay?
I
appreciate it. Hey!
No, it's not that.
Do me a favor, Mario.
No, I didn't do nothing.
Like,
Mario, please don't resist us, okay?
I didn't steal
All right,
nothing. Okay?
Mario, please don't resist us, okay?
It's not that.
Mario, please do not resist us, okay? Put your arm behind your back.
Put your hand behind your back, okay?
Wait.
Mario,
It's not that.
put your arm behind your back. Hey, Mario.
There, I got it. I wanted to throw
Mario.
this. Wait, I wanted to throw this to it back.
okay, let me ask you guys something. I'm sorry for cutting it again, but at the same time, I'm gonna hopefully they're gonna show his arm again here in a second. Tell me if that's a comfortable position. I mean, if somebody is not mentally present, entirely 100% present, and you're twisting their arm in the back like that, wouldn't you initially react of like, ow, that freaking hurts? Asking for a friend.
That's fine.
There. Holy smokes.
Yeah, we got this. We got this.
I got it. So
See, look at his arm. Look at his hand. It's twisted all the way the back, like all the way back. And you know, he clearly doesn't do yoga every day. So you're telling me he's flexible to do that? Flexible enough to stand that kind of pain? That looks like it's painful. That's painful to me. And I'm looking at this. And he's not aggressive, by the way, guys. He's not doing anything, y'all. Not doing anything.
I didn't try to do that, okay?
Okay, hey, Mario, just put your hand behind your back, please.
I got it. Sorry. There.
Mario.
There.
What's that?
Put your hand behind your back.
There.
I think we've talked before, Mario.
No, it's not that.
This is all coming back to me now.
No, it's not that.
Mario.
Thank you.
It's okay, all right? We just got to figure out what's going on, all right? So we just get your cooperation real quick here.
Damn, no wonder.
Okay?
There, I got it, man. No, don't
Mario, put your hand behind your back, okay? Please.
Poor guy.
Okay. Please put your hand behind your back.
There.
Mario,
Yes.
put your hand behind your back.
There, man.
There. Mario.
I didn't do nothing, okay? There, I got it.
Mario, please put your hand behind your back. Okay, please stop resisting us, okay? Don't fight us.
What do you have?
Sorry. No, it's not that.
Ready?
Okay.
All
No,
right, yeah.
it wasn't that. Hey. No. Stop. No. Wait.
There we go.
Mario,
Just hurting the dude.
Yeah.
put your hand behind your back.
Sorry.
Put your hand behind your back.
You guys legs? You able to get that arm out?
Mario, put your hand behind your back.
Hello.
Relax.
There. I'm so sorry. There. I got it.
You give me some space.
Yep. Okay, got it. Alright. 31 on the team. Let's still take it out.
Okay, Mario. We need you to stop. Use this for you, okay?
Now, really quick, I saw some people asking if this was like a residential area or a public area. From my understanding, this is a residential area because where he got basically detained, he's right in the front lawn, in the driveway of somebody else's home. So my assumption is that somebody saw him outside chilling, talking to himself, and they called the cops. They felt uncomfortable with him standing outside, basically in front of their front lawn, maybe, and was like, I don't know what this guy is doing, but he's talking to himself and he's walking around. And there's a lot of people out here that'll do very bad things if they have the time or the access to do so. So they call the cops on this poor man, and then this happens. By the way, so far, have you heard them say why he's getting arrested? Has anything been said yet? We're not even done yet, baby. We ain't even done with this video yet, baby. It's tough. But still, have they said why he's getting arrested? Not once. Now, there could have been a situation of maybe he was drunk. Like if you look at the baskets, there it looks like there's a bottle of Jack Daniels or like a Evan Williams type thing. You know what I'm saying? Like some sort of liquor that's over there. So maybe public intoxication, maybe? But why is he getting detained? They haven't said it yet. Let's continue, because they haven't said anything yet, have they? I'll continue.
All right, what are we gonna do? Just keep him pinned down. We get the wrapper.
Yeah.
Now, knees on his back.
Hey, Mario.
Here we go.
It's okay, Mario.
Knee on back. Bang. See that?
We're gonna take care of you, okay?
See that? Knee on back now, guys. It has officially begun.
We're gonna take care of you.
All right, there.
Okay.
There. There, thank you. There. 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 There, I got it. Thank you. Thank you.
You good?
Thank you. There.
It's okay.
Thank you.
It's okay.
There.
What's your name?
Mario.
Mario. What's your last name, Mario?
Alberto.
Alberto?
Hey, Mario.
What's your birthday? We got you. It's okay. It's all right, man. We're okay, okay?
Mario.
Go ahead and get up, Charlie.
Yeah, that cop really did say that, Butter Pecan. He really did say that. Don't worry, we're going to take care of you. Oh, just wait for it.
I got him.
Hey. Think we can roll him on the side?
I don't want to lose what I got, man.
Okay.
Can you grab the wrap out of 111?
Mario, just... No, wait.
Notice the hard cut. I just want to make that abundantly clear. Notice the hard cut. That little flash we just saw, that was a full-on cut. Hold on. We're going to continue. This ain't over yet. Oh, they most definitely took care of him.
He's going on sponsor.
Copy.
Mario.
910 can slow down.
Mario.
You have a VIP on the way?
Yeah. 41 Cougar AFD.
Hey.
You got a pulse?
Hey, start CPR. Just get him on there.
We're checking for a pulse.
I can't.
I'm going to stop right there. We already know. Later on, he was pronounced dead. But I'm going to scroll back a little bit to this. You see over here in this area, I don't know what that is. That could be liquor. It looks like a bunch of different things right there. That could be liquor. That could be mouthwash. That could be anything. All right? That could be a bottle to take a piss in. God knows what's over here. All right? But this poor guy did nothing wrong. Did nothing wrong. He was standing there talking to himself. Whether he most definitely was homeless. I mean, that's my hardcore assumption. And I could be prejudging this man. But at the same time, that's my assumption. If you have shopping carts and you as you can see up above, there are clearly, it looks like he has his belongings in there. It's not like he just walked into Walmart or Walgreens and walked out with two shopping baskets full of stuff. He clearly obtained those things over time. This man is clearly living on the streets. Okay? He is not fully well. Now, you can see one of the other cops. Obviously, there was one cop that was just busy trying to do his thing, trying to, arrest the dude, put his knee on his back and all that. And allegedly, the other cop put his knee on his back, too, at one point. But the main cop that was just trying to talk to him, that's how it's supposed to be approached. You see what I'm saying? Going with them and handling people with love. I understand if you gotta put your hands down, you gotta, you know what I mean? You gotta drop the bows on them. I get it. I get that part. But this man did not deserve what he received. He did not deserve the treatment he received. They asked for his ID and he ends up dead because they asked for his ID and he didn't have one? What the hell is that? You're arresting him for what? Now, that's not fully explained. They never say to him why he's being arrested. They just say, hey, we're going to get down to the bottom of it. Just give us, just comply. Comply. We'll get down to the bottom of it. Once we got you, in handcuffs, we'll get down to the bottom of it. What did he do? What did he do? I can answer it for you. Nothing. He didn't do anything. He didn't do anything wrong. He was not breaking any laws. He sat there. Maybe he was not feeling, obviously he was a little off. Maybe he was just having a mental breakdown of some sort, but he wasn't sitting there running after anybody. He had a comb in his hand and 2 shopping baskets filled of his belongings. And he was still getting arrested. For what reason? For what reason? He never posed a threat. At least in the video. From the way it was cut. Then the other thing you got to remember I said there was that hard cut. There was a hard cut. And then all of a sudden they rolled him over and he was completely out. Right? Wasn't breathing or anything, right? How long of a chunk did they cut out that they were on his back for? They clearly cut out a chunk of time and skipped right to the climax, to the ending of the movie, basically. All that in between time, gone. We don't know where that happened, what happened between those times, between that time. We don't know anything. All we know is that man, those cops had their knees on his back, and next thing you know, hard cut, rolling him over. He's passed out. CPR. And now he's no longer with us. Like I said, seemed like one of the cops was trying to be, caring to a certain extent, but it didn't mean it doesn't seem like it makes any sense for them to suddenly go from one thing and jump to the next. Now, somebody just said something. Hold on, I'm pulling up the
they just skip a lot.
Say again.
They just skip a lot.
Yeah. So there was a huge chunk, y'all. Gigantic chunk. So they may have, like in this 8-minute video, they could have been on his back for more than 5. They could have been on his back for 10. How much of a chunk was it? Do you know, David?
Trying to count real quick.
No, please, take your time, man. Take your time. But that's something. I'll fill in the time for right now. That's something that doesn't make sense. We think about something like Andrew Brown Jr., and they're not giving out the information. They're not going to allow the public to see that footage. Well, they say, quote unquote, for now. But that's still doctored footage that they're holding. So, David.
It's hard to be sure at what rate they're going, but it's about at least 10 seconds, probably as many as 20. So they cut out just 20 seconds for some reason right there. Right after he tells them to not put weight on him. So we can kind of presume that he was putting weight on him during that cut. Otherwise, he wouldn't have said it after the cut to get it off of him.
Right. Clearly, some ain't right. Clearly, something wasn't right, and they cut out all that stuff. They saw all the stuff that was going on, and they're like, whoa, that's a long time. And guess what? Ain't nobody here but us. So let's just cut that out really quick. Just cut out that stuff. Because we have to put it out to the public, but we don't need the public to know everything. Now, when I looked at the video, now he could have, Ches said, I bet he said I can't breathe. Now, there's a possibility. There's a good possibility that during the chunk of time that was taken out, he could have probably said that. But you could hear he's just blurting out anything. He's like, thank you. He's saying anything, right? He's screaming out anything because he's obviously mentally unstable. And you know what I'm saying? But his body is reacting. He's fighting for his life. So he's just yelling. He's, like I said, he was clearly not fully okay. It just, yeah. Go ahead, David. I'm sorry.
If anyone else did this, it would just be considered a pretty much roll-up murder for no reason. They got a welfare call at most. They were just checking on the guy, and obviously he was okay. And he wasn't committing any crimes. He was very willing to work with them, and obviously he was in pain while they were trying to make him reach his arms behind his back, and it's not surprising. You look at just the way he's standing, he's probably not that flexible.
He's not.
Yeah.
Not trying to judge him because of his size or whatnot, but and he's homeless. I don't think he sits there and practices like Bikram yoga up in this piece. So,
right.
So,
the first thing that happens, they come up to him. He's trying to work. He's being compliant and talking to them, and then they decide to start causing him pain, and he's still working with them. They just push his face into the ground until he dies, basically, even though he's still trying to work with them. And they obviously know he's in pain. He's having trouble breathing. You can hear it in his breath.
That's the reason why you see the other cop play the good cop. You see what I'm saying? There was the good cop and the bad cop. And the good cop was, at least vocally, speaking. He was sitting there going, hey, buddy, I remember you now. And he's like trying to talk to him to try to calm him the F down. You see what I'm saying? But at the same time, clearly it was not, you know what I'm saying? Like it wasn't enough. It wasn't enough. It wasn't going to calm him down. It wasn't going to calm the other cop down. And I'm not sitting here saying that the other cop was like trying to like just, you know, do anything crazy. Like it wasn't like the cop was, it wasn't a Derek Chauvin situation of just psychotic, but the procedures that they have sometimes should not be applied on certain things. Now, real quick, Madeline Reed just said something that I found interesting. Madeline Reed just said, no, it isn't ridiculous. Anyone with mental issues that aren't being dealt with are unpredictable. So to prevent danger, they cuff them. It's not to be mean. Now, if that is the procedure, then they need to find another way of approaching people with mental health issues, period. You know, I'm not going to sit here and disagree with what you said about the handcuffing and all that, but I feel like if somebody is coming off like he doesn't look like a flight risk, he doesn't look like he's going to hurt nobody. Hey, come on over here. Come over here, man. Just stand by the squad car real quick. You know what I mean? Let me just find out what's going on. You know what I mean? A lot of people will comply. A lot of people are not just going to take off, start running. He didn't look like somebody that would take off, start running. He just clearly seemed like he was just a little off. And I feel like with people with certain mental health issues, that I feel like there needs to be a way to approach people. And it shouldn't automatically be like, hey, shackle them. I don't agree with that. You know what I'm saying? There's a way to get things done. There's a proper way to get things done so that people don't die at the end of it. Just because he didn't have an ID does not mean that he's a criminal. Does not mean he deserves to be treated as a criminal. Remember, this is a person who is clearly homeless. How many homeless people actually have IDs? I'm just saying. How many homeless people do you know? The family knows that actually have IDs. I don't know anybody with an ID. You know what I'm saying? That would have like go to the DMV and get a state ID. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, it's just something that doesn't make sense. There's got to be a different procedure, and I understand that Madeline's explaining that that's probably protocol, but I don't think that protocol should be protocol.
No, I agree. I mean, handcuffing someone is an immediate act of escalation because they now feel that they're going to be imprisoned and that they are probably enduring some sort of pain from the officers. So even if it's the guideline, I mean, people keep dying from it or people keep causing problems over it. Obviously, it's not necessarily the best issue. Maybe if they only used it when there's an actual problem as opposed to during a peaceful conversation, it might be more useful. But just because of the way they do it, the thing is the cops aren't dependable themselves, so they're unpredictable and they can be dangerous. So obviously no one wants to be handcuffed because then that gives up all their ability to defend themselves. And as we see, the police do kill people that are defenseless very often, and not just children but even adults. So it doesn't matter if you're a kid or not. There's a decent chance that you will be harmed if you're being handcuffed. So it's very natural for people to not want that. Even if like they want to comply with the police, the natural fear and pain of it is going to make them struggle. I mean, we see in this case that basically they're trying to force his arms beyond their range of motion, and the pain is causing him to kind of shift around, and they consider that resistance and push him down to the ground for no reason. Even though the whole time, you know, he's being compliant, he's working with them physically, and he's speaking to them well. And it seems like he was not homeless. He has a family.
Yeah, I was just about to say that.
Yeah, so he has a brother, Gerardo Gonzalez, who says that everything we saw in the video was unnecessary and unprofessional. The police killed my brother in the same manner they killed George Floyd. And they had another speaker. We don't have video of it. At least I don't have video of it. But the reporter is from the meeting is saying that the witnesses claimed that he He was just relaxing in the park, collecting his thoughts. He had drank a single beer, and so they called in for the welfare check. And for some reason, it's not clear why, the police automatically thought he was related to a theft. There's no reason,
of course,
as far as I can tell, to think he was related to any theft whatsoever. They immediately dropped that angle, so it's not too surprising. Because they said it's related to a possible theft, so they weren't even sure that there was a theft at the time. They decided to investigate him over the theft.
Interesting.
Right.
That's very, very interesting.
So his mother said that they basically killed him because he's overweight and
brown.
Yeah, yeah, pretty.
Sorry, I mean, F the fact that he's overweight. F that, has nothing to do with the weight. You know what I mean? It's because it was more than that. Sorry, go ahead.
The mother goes on, her name's Edith Gonzalez. She goes on to say, "They lying to me. They say my son, he fighting with the officers. I say, no, come on, you guys made a mistake." As you can see, he wasn't fighting. He was
I don't see a fight, yo. I don't see a fight, yo. I don't see a fight, y'all. Not at all. I don't see no fights. And that's just me, though. That's just me.
I mean, he's complying, and they push him to the ground afterward, which is obviously the point where they put the weight on his back. You can see the knee on his spine.
Yeah.
Then there's the cut, and then there's the demand to get off of the body weight off of him right after that cut. It looks pretty bad to me. I mean, even if without considering whatever was in that cut, to me it does just seem like they rolled up to someone that was being passive and doing nothing wrong, and then because they were hurting him and he reacted naturally, they forced him down and killed him. Even though he's working with them, obviously he has some sort of like, he might be autistic or something himself. His brother's autistic, so it's very possible because he helps take care of his brother. I mean, there's no diagnosis for adults, so you wouldn't know. We wouldn't know for sure if he wasn't diagnosed as a child. That's just the way it goes with autism. But I mean, we were talking about this earlier. This is a case where police have every year. They end up killing autistic people, very often children of all races. But combine it with this sort of behavior, obviously it's going to target specific people. But regardless of the specific case, police do have a history of killing autistic people, children and otherwise. Unfortunately, mostly children. So it's not too surprising that they kill autistic adults. I mean, we've had at least 3 other cases this year that I know of, and those are just the ones that managed to make it into the major news cycles. Who knows how many local ones that kind of faded away. I think this one probably would have faded away if it wasn't so closely related to George Floyd. I don't think we'd be talking about this. I think this would have been swept under the rug and no one would be talking about it right now. So I'm glad it's getting this attention. And I really hope the mother, because obviously she's in a lot of pain, but I hope she gets some sort of resolution, because obviously they are lying to her. And his 4-year-old son, he was just saying, mommy, why my pappy passed away, my pappy died.
Yeah.
That's all the child was saying as a 4-year-old. I mean, he obviously can't understand why his father was killed. But this is just another one of those egregious cases where they're called for a welfare check on someone that is peaceful but not necessarily mentally typical, and they escalate the situation that leads to a death when there's no act of violence, no act of crime, and no active resistance, and total vocal and mental compliance to what they wanted.
Yeah, like I said, I feel like there needs to be a new approach to certain things, a new approach to people, to wellness checks, etc. I think it's very frustrating when you have people who are clearly not having you're catching them on a not a great day. You know what I'm saying? You're catching them on a not a great day. And for example, there is something that I want us to see, because I do feel like this is something that I wish we would all do more often. We got to take a look at this. It's very short, but you'll see what I'm saying. Oh, shoot. the heck? This thing is always a pain. Hold on, guys. There we go. Here we go.
Titanic's going down for real, and they don't have enough lifeboats. And nobody even knows the formula. Formula is the dimensions passing away. God damn it. I didn't have notes on the night that I could have all the answers. I didn't have a piece of paper. I didn't have a phone. I had no way to document it, and I have no memory. I refuse to do it again.
If you need a hug, I'm sure.
That's healing, yes, a hug is what I need.
Can I?
Yes, that's
Please
right.
stop. Okay, I don't want to call the cops.
Thank
Relax.
you so much.
Relax.
Breathe for me.
Relax.
Thank you.
It's okay.
Don't get away.
Okay, relax.
Thank you. Breathe for me. Breathe, just breathe. Through your
In and out,
belly.
in and out.
That's good. Thank you. I appreciate that. I get my time, baby.
You're fine.
Okay.
Please.
I have no help.
Sometimes we just need a hug, man. You know, it's really it really hurts when you have something like what happened with Mario Gonzalez constantly happen. Constantly. But then you have you know, the people who are just not mentally stable, they're having a psychotic break, etc. It's really sad. It's so frustrating that sometimes instead of throwing shackles on somebody, you just need to throw your arms around them. Put an understanding arm around their shoulders or around them and just basically say, hey, I'm here to listen. I'm here for you. I got you. What's going on? If only we could do that. We see something like this happen. She goes up, wraps her arms around that woman and says, hey, I need you to calm down or I'm going to have to call the police. That's literally what she said. But see how quickly she de-escalated the situation by walking up, throwing her arms around the woman and saying, I understand. I'm just going to, I'm here to console, rather than, oh God, this person's being crazy. Call the cops. And next thing you know, you got another hashtag. You have another protest. I wish that for every single person that we see in videos. You know what I mean? Not everybody has a good day. Not everybody has perfect days every day. You know what I'm saying? We have our ups and we have our downs. No one is perfect. And there's no such thing as a perfect life. And we all have our mental stabilities, our mental strengths and our mental and our mental weaknesses. We all have that. We all do. Trust. It's just unfortunate that some people's moments of weakness are seen and captured on video that ends up showing their demise, showing their death, showing their murder. And that's sad and unnecessary. But at the same time, we have to realize that we are all human beings and we have to be able to approach, talk, listen, and understand, open our hearts and understand. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Sometimes that person just needs a good hug. And that's it. And I understand. And that's it. That person would still be with us, like that woman we just saw a second ago. If we followed in suit in those things, man, we wouldn't be having as many hashtags as we have been seeing. Sometimes we just need a hug. David.
Yeah. I agree. I mean, if they came into this, they just talked to him, everything would have been resolved just fine, and that's it. If they just kept talking, everything would have been fine.
Yep. No need to bring all those people. But go ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
I mean, I just agree. One thing I noticed that kind of with that 10 to 20 second video clip missing, they also never mentioned in their reports the fact that they had their knee on him, on his spine, and one reporter who went through the video more even says that it travels up to the back of his neck a few times. The police never acknowledged that they were doing that. They're pretending right now. I mean, it's in the video, but they're in all their statements right now, the way they're selling it is that he resisted, and so they had to struggle with him, and then he died of a medical emergency. They're not acknowledging that he was pinned to the ground and that he had knee on his back and then had the medical emergency. They're making it sound like it happened immediately during the struggle. To me, with that and the missing clip, I mean, this just kind of seems like a cover-up at that point. I mean, even if they didn't mean to do anything wrong, they're trying to hide this. It seems like, at least some of it. I hope the FBI gets involved in this one. This one does seem like a cover-up to me. I don't normally jump to that conclusion, but
no, you don't.
The fact that they cut the video out, they cut the video out is just not. That doesn't make sense. There's no other reason for that to have been the case.
10 to 20 seconds, you said, right?
Yeah.
That's weird.
And they won't mention the knee on his back. And yeah, I don't necessarily think they meant to kill him. I think it was negligence, and I think they're trying to cover it up.
Something ain't right, though. Something ain't right. Like I said, you know what I'm saying? You know, and I hate telling you guys these stories, y'all. Like, I hate telling y'all these stories. I hate it with a passion. I hate it. But at the same time, these are the things. These are the injustices. These are the crazy things that are happening in the world, you know? And then we unfold these stories and unpack them. And it's just like it gets weirder and weirder and weirder. And down and deeper and darker does the rabbit hole get. You know what I'm saying? And it's very, very frustrating. But real quick. Ooh, shoot. Sorry, guys. But real quick. Because we need something light, because we do need something light, we need to look at something that is oh no well, we already okay, sorry, we already reported that. Thank you, God. Well, first off, hold on, I just found something. Sorry, and we got to do it. Okay, we got to do it. I'm going there. F it. This is a little bit of a left turn because we need something that's a little bit light. No puppies today. I'm sorry, Bob. Not today. Not today. Another time though. And we're gonna have some fun tonight. I'm just gonna give you just be straight funk with y'all. Tonight, unless the world implodes, we're gonna have some fun tonight and just kind of keep it light and fun. But there is a story that we need to look at, which I found very interesting. This is something that has been breaking overnight, and this is more pop culture stuff. Okay, this is in the world of pop culture, so just ride with me. I know. We talk about all this other ish, but we got to talk about this. This is very interesting to me. Hold up. Dang. Freaking pop-ups. All right. Here it is. Willow Smith has shared she is polyamorous on Red Table Talk. I just saw this just now. So this is brand new to me. Okay? So the 20-year-old daughter of Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith chose Wednesday's episode of the very famous, it's a very famous Facebook show called Red Table Talk, which she co-hosts with her mom and her maternal grandmother, Adrienne Gammy Benfield Norris. That's a long-ass name. To reveal that she is polyamorous, defined as being involved in more than one romantic relationship at one time. Lucky her, I guess, right? Pinkett Smith asked her daughter how she arrived at knowing that fact. Sorry. To which Will Smith said, with polyamory, I feel like the main foundation is the freedom to be able to create a relationship style that works for you, and not just stepping into monogamy because that's what everyone around you says is the right thing to do. Wow. Wow. Okay. Well, whoever she's dating, I guess, is very lucky, right? I mean, speaking on a very heterosexual perspective. Sorry about that. But moving on. So I was like, how can I structure the way I approach relationships with that in mind? The younger Smith said. Also, during research into polyamory, she looked it up. She Googled it. She went into the Googles and said, polyamory, what is it? The main reasons why monogamous relationships or why marriage, wait. So I was doing my research into polyamory, the reasons why monogamous relationships or why marriage, why divorces happen is infidelity. So her mother, who made headlines last year for her entanglement story, she understood. Of course she did. It's 3 o'clock and I'm faded. Anyway, moving on. When you were like, hey, this is my get down, I was like, I totally get it. Pinkett said, wanting to set up your life in a way that you can have what you want. What is that you want? I think anything goes as long as the intentions are clear. You know what I mean? So in other words, like I said, we're seeing a little hint of what their relationship, maybe Will and Jada's relationship really is. Let's just be straight funky, okay? Let's just be really straight funky. You don't think her parents are already practicing that? You know what I'm saying? They swinging like Tarzan. Like Tarzan swinging. Okay, deep swinging. Okay, anyway, moving on. Smith's grandmother said, for somebody like me, because she's very conservative in this way, okay, it feels like it's really all just centered around sex. Though she admitted to having considered it herself. Yes. The apple doesn't fall very far from the tree. Okay. Let's move on here. Even outside, I'll throw it to you, David. Hold on one second. Even outside of the counseling that you get from your pastor before you get married, because most people that get married, will get counseling from their pastors because there's a religious aspect to it, a God aspect to it, Jada, and. We had deep conversation about it. What does this mean to us? What do we want to create for ourselves? And we actually talked about polyamory. And was that something that we wanted to explore? We had that discussion. But for Smith, it's apparently less about sex and more about the freedom. In my friend group, I'm just gonna stop right there. In my friend group, okay. I'm the only polyamorous person. Oh, thank God. That's a lie. Okay. And I have the least sex out of all of my friends, she said. Yeah. Lie detector came back and proved that was a lie. Least amount of sex? I don't know about that, Miss Smith. Miss Pinkett Smith. Or Miss Smith, actually. Because that is from Willow, from my understanding. In her group. Yeah, it's more about freedom for Willow. So Willow, I had a feeling something was going to be. I had a feeling she was going to drop the bomb on us. I'm sorry. I had a feeling that was going to happen. I'm not surprised. I am not surprised that family is a little loosey-goosey. You know what I'm saying? I'm not surprised. Period. Not surprised. Surprised, not period. I'm just going to say it in many ways. I'm not surprised. There it is. Because I was expecting Willow to come out as gay. I'm gonna be really honest. I expected that. But this is new. I mean, it's kind of my prediction, but not at the same time. Does that make sense? But here it is, though. We live in a world where women are allowed to do stuff like this, and it's more socially acceptable. If a man sat there and said, I'm polyamorous and I got many women and many men relationships with both sides of the spectrum type thing, it would not be socially acceptable. But because it's Willow Smith and she is part of the Smith family and her parents obviously do dating, they clearly have an open relationship themselves. Shoot, that whole entanglement conversation that happened back in the day when she said an entanglement. And he just sat there going, yeah, the entire time. Yeah, clearly they got some things that they cool with. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not surprised that she's polyamorous. All right, then. I don't know how. That's the other thing. How you come to terms with that and are able to. And like I said, maybe I'm just a little bit more traditional in this aspect. But how one could wrap their mind around that idea. But I am also, let me just say this too, a heterosexual male. And if I was not a heterosexual male, I think that the approach would be different towards this idea of polyamory. You know what I'm saying? Burr just said, gross. Does she need to share? You know, I don't know. I don't know why she needs to share. You know what I'm saying? And then it makes you wonder, how does that breakdown of a polyamorous relationship work? You know, when it's time for sexy time, are y'all doing it together? Are you doing like he gets Thursdays, Saturdays, and Tuesdays, and the other one gets the other days? Like, how does that get split up? Does she get time off on Sundays and it's all by herself? Or does she, you see what I'm saying? How does that work? Are y'all taking dates together? Who pays for the date? You know what I'm saying? Do you guys switch off every single, that's wrong. What I just said, do you switch off? You know what I'm saying? Who pays, who doesn't? You know what I'm saying?
One thing I was watching.
Nerd just said draw straws every week. You know what I'm saying? And she's a Smith, so she ain't cheap. You know what I'm saying? She going to the nice spots. Sorry, man. Inquiring minds would like to know. That's all I'm saying. David, go ahead.
So I was watching one thing. It was a couple of weeks ago, but it was basically, I don't know if it was real or if it was like scripted, but it seemed mostly real. But basically, it was just like a view of these relationships where like the girl would have 3 boyfriends staying with her or something, and usually that is kind of what they seem to do. They take a turn. They get the day with the girlfriend, and then she gets to pick who she hangs out with. So it is. I mean, at least the way it was presented in that, it is almost like a harem style where the girl has her pick of them for the day.
You know,
and
yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry, David. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Sorry, brother.
Especially with like Hollywood, it's not that unusual for people to come out about their sexuality, even if it doesn't necessarily matter to anyone else. So, you know, it's not too surprising she comes out about this. I will say it's a little weird for me because I still like. It's not like I follow Will Smith's children, but, you know, I've seen them in, like, videos when they were younger. So she's still, like, in the back of my head, I was still thinking of her as, like, a 13-year-old girl. And I'm like, I don't really want to talk about this.
Yeah. Like, I whip my hair back and forth.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Like, well, this is a thing. I feel like it is a very arrogant thing to say because it's just kind of like, okay, so one person is not enough for you. One person is not entertaining enough for you. You get bored. You know what I mean? You bore me. Be gone. You know what I mean? Leave me. I'm bored. I don't see. That's the part that doesn't make sense to me, where it's like, oh, I'm polyamorous. So then, how many relationships you got? Like 7, 14, or just 2? And then it's like, how many people are okay with that kind of ish? Clearly, not a whole lot of people are okay with that. I'm sorry, 95% of the world that we live in, 95% of the world that we live in is still old school and still lives in that red pill aspect of relationships. We don't automatically go, oh, I'm totally cool with it. You know what I mean? That's Willow Smith. Yeah, man. Cool, man. Oh, you dating her too? Bet. It's all good. What's up, bruh? What's your name, Malcolm? What's up, man? Yeah, let's get it. We good. We good. No. That is not traditionally, it's not, I don't think, something that can last very long. See, I saw a nerd just say, you wrong, Pascal. A lot of people are kinky and are cool with it. Let me just say something really quick. Yes, they're cool with it until they're not cool with it. Let's be real. Traditionally, we are ingrained. What we've had been built in this box. And I get it that she's thinking outside the box. So she probably does a whole lot of LSD and smokes a lot of weed. So that's another conversation in itself. But at the same time, she's thinking outside the box. I get it. But at the same time, at some point, that traditional value, that traditional aspect of things is going to circle back. It may not be with Willow. Willow will probably just be like, cool. There's plenty other people that will get it and will be fine with it. But at some point, those people are going to sit there and go, I want more than this. Eventually they're going to go, I don't want to share you. I just want you at some point. But you know what? Mark Jones just said that she's happy, Pascal. So let her be happy. And that's true, too. Let her do her thing. Whatever she does behind her own closed doors is on her. You know what I'm saying? As long as it's not hurting anybody, etc., then I get it. But I could see it being a very interesting path. Or it could be a very successful path. We never know. We will never know. Only time will tell. But I do find it a little weird. You know what I mean? But I know for a fact, if this story was flipped around, I don't think it would be as socially acceptable. Because you also got to remember, she's in a polyamorous relationship doesn't mean that it's all men. It could also be women too. So if a male celebrity said, oh, you know what I'm saying? I'm polyamorous too, but I'm experimenting with men and women. General public would have a hard time accepting that person's lifestyle, that man's lifestyle. That's what I think. That's what I think. You remember, a girl says she's bisexual. Everyone's like, I bet, cool. A dude says he's bisexual. Woo, him gay. That's exactly what they say. Like that. They're like, wait, he dabbles with men. No, he gay. That's it. A girl could be bisexual, but a man cannot. You see what I'm saying? So a girl being polyamorous is going to be a little bit more acceptable than a man saying that he's polyamorous. Just saying. Our society's not there yet. You know what I'm saying? What were you gonna say, David?
Yeah, I was gonna say, especially it seems to be a trend of late that it's more acceptable for females to have multiple male partners. Well, not necessarily male partners, just multiple partners in general. And I mean, even the entertainment's kind of been seeing this more. Like, I don't think we actually ended up talking about it much on the show, but like with the last Bachelorette, or maybe it was 2 years ago, like that was just kind of how the show was set up. Like I said, I don't remember if we ended up talking about it on the show live, but basically there's a lot of issues over it because the woman was having just like multiple men dance for her naked or whatever, and some people were angry about that, but not people that were watching it, people that were involved in it were angry about it. And but like it had high ratings and everyone was happy to see it, and seemingly, and I'm sure the like controversy did get some more of the ratings, but regardless of that, people were very happy to start like watch the Bachelorette like basically play with a bunch of boys, more or less. I mean, that's really the only way I can describe it. She was just like treating a lot of the guys like just like boys and having them do whatever she wanted. And you know, some of them were angry about it, but I mean, it was the season itself. The controversy came from within the show. It wasn't people having problems with it. So it seems like, at least as far as entertainment goes, it's socially acceptable. And definitely Willow Smith falls under that category of entertainment. I mean, we only know about her because of her father, arguably because of her music, maybe, or something. I'm not sure. I don't really know her because of that, but I'm sure other people do. So. I do think it is, more socially acceptable. I mean, at the same time, we have to acknowledge that men have, in the past, definitely, it's been more acceptable for men to do it under the table in the past, I think. Whereas, it wasn't acceptable for a woman to do it on the table. But right now, like, it just seems like it's switching to where it's socially acceptable for a woman to be out in the open with these sort of things. And not as much with men at the moment, and I think that's because we get problems with basically when men do this, they just end up cheating on the person and not telling them and just sleep with a bunch of people. It's different.
Yeah,
I acknowledge it's different, but I'm just pointing. It's just it is a change in social norms that I'm seeing kind of develop right now, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I understand, like, socially the norm is not that polyamorous or polyamory, and I get it, and like Sidecar Tommy said, hey, there's nothing wrong. Like, what's wrong with what did he say? I'm sorry, I just lost it. What's wrong with people loving each other? And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that at all. Do you, boo boo? You know what I'm saying? Not at all. I'm just saying it can be. I could see it being something that could get very complicated in the long run. And of course, we're just talking. Obviously, we are expanding this conversation more than just her saying that she's polyamorous. I mean, just the relationship or the idea of being in a relationship with multiple people at the same time. I just keep saying traditionally it can get hairy. Bad term, but lack of a better term, just go with me, okay? Hopefully they're all clean shaven, all of them, every last one of them. Hopefully they're all just hairless, beautiful bodies. But at the same time, though, things can get very weird. But I see what he just said here now. Polyamory is communication, and that's absolutely true too. But like I said, we live in a world where natural societal things will start creeping back in, and that person or those persons are going to sit there and go, "I want more than just what I have from you. I want more. I want all of you, not just a piece of you." But at the same time, like I said, hey, do you, girl? If that makes you happy, do your thing. You know what I'm saying? Just try not to break too many hearts. And I'm hoping that fills a void that she is obviously trying to fill. That's just me, though. Like I said, that is the traditionalist of me in talking right now. You know what I mean? That's just me, though, because I can only imagine how difficult it could be to be in love with more than just one person. I could see that being extremely hard to do, extremely difficult. And I could see it getting very messy. So, but at the same time, hey, more power to you, girl. Do your thing. I hope it makes you happy. You know what I'm saying? But I'm saying, like, that does not mean that you're going to, it doesn't guarantee, that does not guarantee that your life is going to be less complicated because, you're able to get this from this person and then be able to get this from that person. You see what I'm saying? But like I said, that's what she wants to do. So that's what she's going to do. You know what I'm saying? Mark Jones, you are a child. That's all I'm going to say. And, Kiki said something that just got me weak. I got to bring it back up. Hold up before we wrap up. Where did it go? Yeah. She whipping more than her hair back and forth. Yeah. Facts. Figgity facts. She most definitely whipping more than just her hair. Trust that. But anyway, that's the show, guys. You know what I mean? Something a little bit lighthearted and all that stuff. I had to bring something in to make us not think about such bad sad things. David, thank you so much for being on. I really do appreciate it, man.
Yeah, man, it's a fun show today.
Fun show. You know what I mean? A lot to talk about, a lot of things to cover. You know what I'm saying? Mark Jones, I'm going to call you out when I feel like it, bruh. No, I'm just kidding. I love you, man. Anyway, so it's time to get going. I appreciate all you guys. And that's facts. Different strokes for different folks. Most definitely. Stroking. I don't think anybody knows that song. Stroking to the east. I be stroking to the west. Stroking to the woman that I love the best. I be stroking. You don't know that song?
Nah, it's not very subtle, though. Doesn't sound like.
I mean, it's a song. You should check it out. Clarence Carter.
All right.
Clarence Carter. Clarence Carter, Clarence Carter, Clarence. Ooh, ooh. Yes, Clarence Carter. Okay, anyway. Check it out. It's the most ridiculous song I've ever heard.
I'll definitely check that out.
Clarence Carter. It's hilarious. It's the best song in the world. Funny little side story. So my sister got that as a joke CD back in the day as a joke, right? And she was playing it. My parents got very upset because, they're sitting there, obviously we're kids and she's a teenager and she's getting this as a joke. My mom takes that CD, right? And she's like, oh, you can't play that stuff, blah, 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 blah. All angry about it and everything, don't, wagging her finger at us, no, don't do that. You can't do that. You know what I mean? And then all of a sudden, a few months go by, fly by. And my parents used to have really huge, parties with, a whole bunch of Haitians and Jamaicans, all right? Almost every weekend, they were all getting together and we're all hanging out, kicking it together. All of us, all families just coming to somebody's house and kicking it and partying. Now, they went and they straight up were having a party at my house, my parents' house. And, we're kids, we're playing video games and all that stuff. And then all of a sudden, the song comes on. I mean, stroking. Everyone goes crazy, having a blast, dancing and line dancing and just doing all this stuff, you know what I mean, to the song. And I'm like, Mom, you said this was bad. Why are you playing it here? And she's like, well, I kind of like these songs. She took the damn CD for her own damn self.
That's funny.
Mama took the CD for her own damn self. She said she was going to throw it away. She didn't throw it away. She gave it to my dad. He put it into his CD collection. And next thing you know, they're playing it all night. I'm done. But that's my parents for you. Don't do that. I be stroking. You know what I'm saying? Straight up. Man, you don't know this. Man, now we got to do we're going off the beaten path, but we're playing this for 2 seconds. You don't know stroking, baby. Come on. Yeah. Oh, my God. This is an amazing song. Hold up. We got to play it for a second. Oh, my God. This song's hilarious. You really don't know this song?
No, never heard of it.
Okay. Well, we're going down memory lane. Really don't know this song. Oh man, this is a throwback, but like I said, man, this song's amazing. Hold up, let me okay.
Stroke it to the west, I stroke it to the woman that I love the best. I be stroking.
Hey, and then.
Let me ask you something.
He's like, man, you ever made love? I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. He doesn't even sing on this except for the hook. And the whole thing is him asking where y'all effed. Oh, it's amazing. Oh. Hold up.
What time of the day do you like to make love?
What time of day do you like to make love, y'all? Inquiring minds would like to know. Straight up.
Have you ever made love
here
just before breakfast? Have you ever made love while you watch the Late Late Show?
Yeah, you're going, I wonder what, I want to know what Johnny Carson's doing. I mean, it's just, no. I love this bit. Like, no, that don't work. But yes, hold up.
I made love on the backseat of a car.
Literally, that's the whole thing.
I spoke it to the east, and I spoke it to the west.
Hey!
I spoke it to the woman that I love the best. I be stroking.
All right, that's enough for me right there. You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. Just so you know. Like I said, you ever made love while making toast? Like what? I'm done. You ever made love while making an egg Benedict? Like what? Like what? Okay. Anyway. Oh my dear God. Best song in the world. Best song in the world. Most ridiculous song in the world. Yes, I be stroking. You ever made love? You know what I'm saying? Making fried chicken. Anyway,
I feel like you
you're
eat a lot
welcome.
of burnt food out of this.
Mom, why is the food so bad? Looking at Dad. Ew! They be stroking. Anyway, that's a whole other Charles Dickens story to talk about for sure. That's definitely a subject. You know what I'm saying? Oh my God. Anyway, we got to get going. Woo! I love all you guys. I appreciate all y'all for being on today, chopping it up with me. Don't forget to hit that like button. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. And of course, crush that join button. $4.99 helps us tell you your stories of the day. You know what I mean? And then bringing out random stuff like stroking. You know what I'm saying? You ever made love while watching the Pascal show? I don't want to know. I don't want to know. Don't ever answer that question. Okay? Anyway, I appreciate y'all. You guys are amazing. Stay blessed out there. I will be on tonight at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, so keep your eyes out. There's going to be a good conversation going on tonight. I will be opening up the phone lines and chopping it up about all the stuff that we got going on. Okay? So, stay safe out there. Okay? Be good to yourselves. Be good to one another. Woo! I be stroking. Anyway, ooh, I gotta go out with this song. Come on now. I gotta do that. All right. Be good to yourselves. Be good to one another. And I will see you guys tonight at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. This is the Pascal Show. Bye.
West, I spoke it to the woman that I love the best. I be stroking.
Stroke it. I don't know how to. Never mind. Bye.
Homeowners and property managers, if you're looking for effective and humane ways to remove wild animals and deal with the damage that they have caused, we have good news for you. Introducing Wildlife Command Center, a professional nuisance wildlife management company specializing in providing animal removal for residential, industrial, and commercial clients. We are the only wildlife company that checks 70 different areas on a structure to determine the answers to the following questions. Exactly which animal are we dealing with? How is the animal getting inside the home? What kind of damage is the animal doing to the structure? Once we get the answers to all of these questions, we develop and write up an action plan to resolve the animal issue completely and provide a quote to implement that action plan. We perform a very in-depth 70-point wildlife inspection. From visually inspecting the highest point, the chimney, to physically crawling inside the attic space and looking for animals, chewed wires, fecal matter, chewed structural wood, we inspect everything. Our inspection process covers all of the following 70 points: animal-proof chimney cap, roof ridge vents, roof to soffit junctions, dormer fascia, attic gable vents, gutter lines, fascia trim, garage door, utility penetrations, water, gas, electric, and cable, bathroom vents, attic roof ridge vents, attic electrical, wiring, junctions, boxes, and lighting, concrete decks, additions, wooden crawl spaces, basement plumbing, penetrations, ceiling, floor, and wall. Wildlife Command Center's mission is to deliver the finest quality wildlife removal and pest control service that is safe for the environment. For more information, call us now.